All right, family. All right, and all riggedy right. And a good afternoon to you. Let me just put this on mute there so we're not interrupted by the sounds. A good afternoon to us, family here. A different view family who believe in, who love after, who hunger and seek, searching for. Seeking you will find. Right? Knock and the door shall be open, family. Definitely believe that, right? Family, welcome in to another episode of A Different View. Apologies for being on the live last time here. As a matter of fact, we're going to set up the share because we could not do that before. So hang on 2 seconds. All right, hang on 1 more second. We're just going to share this off on another on my Instagram platform. Hang on 2 seconds, family. All right, and we're back. Today's topic, family, we're gonna get into the 12th law, right? We have finally made it all the way to the 12th law, finally, right? The 12th universal law coming out of the book from Manhardeep Singh called 12 Laws of the Universe. The very last one, family. And y'all hold on, this one's gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. We're gonna challenge some thinking this afternoon, family. We're gonna challenge. It's gonna be fun. But again, family, you don't grow mentally, we don't grow physically until you start putting in metal plates, right, on that barbell, and we start pushing and curling and huffing and puffing just a little bit heavier of a weight, family, right? You only get so far maintaining the same weight. This is not to say that we shouldn't maintain things. See, again, when we started out a little bit earlier in this year before its end, and Snoopy plays in the background here, we'll let that go for a minute. Good old Snoopy, huh? I see these memes all the time, family, where folks is dancing, they dancing that Snoopy Chuck Brown dance. And I'm like, I'm already used to it because I got it on the clock. Everybody hears it, right? So, the law of gender, family. We have to have a conversation around this because unfortunately people run into a very a very interesting mindset, concept, and thought around the law of gender. And family, welcome in. So, as it says in this book, and again, it's a powerful book from Manhardeep Singh. One thing about our native brothers and sisters that I did not realize, right, until looking into some things about the law of gender, is two spirits. A two-spirit person. Family, does anybody know about two-spirit people out there one time? The ability to walk in two different worlds. Just to walk in two different worlds, right? I think, to be very blunt, family, we have to get our eyes off of Mass's definition of what is masculine and feminine. Can we be honest with each other for a minute? It's hard to be, right? It's hard to be. And in doing so, we have allowed for a world where it is okay when we need job creation to create jobs to continue the trail of tears. Just say it with your big boy voice, family, because that's what this is. We're not doing this because that's what they did the last time, family. If I'm correct, right? The same that see as is said in the camp, in the village, in the community. The devil got no new tricks. So the deceiver, the adversary, family. We look. Unfortunately, when we say this, the first thing people go to when they turtle shell, right? It's a weird kind of defense that I believe, honestly, has been manipulated a little bit, right? Because we're not using the defense to uphold each other. We use it to kind of continue to be greedy and gross to each other. This idea that would then tell you, oh, KJ, you talking about everybody. We're not talking about everybody, right? We're only talking about those who involve themselves in this kind of activity. And going into 2026, family, we have to have certain things set as a foundation in our mind and heart, which is, at the end of the day, we got to be better supporting each other. Family, we're going to get nowhere in life. We can keep doing this handouts. Folks is asking for handouts, and like we did this mess with SNAP benefits just a few short weeks ago, right, family? Who need and who don't need church folks. And again, for those on Spotify, because we're going to repost this and on YouTube and all that kind of thing. Y'all get ready for a couple episodes coming down the pike on Spotify because your boy going to have a chat. This year, family, has been the year of the Christian, without question. But not for the reasons that you think, okay? And when you got your brothers and sisters starving and dying around you, this is the time to flood the algorithm with, hey, we had a food roast over here. We bought a couple turkeys from here off that excess of that tithe money that all the church folks been giving. And we bought ourselves a bunch of hams and chickens, or maybe not as much pork, right? Shout out the Muslim community one time. Which unfortunately over in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, they have a problem. But we already know a lot about Tulsa and Broken Arrow, right, family? It's built off of taking away from one group of people and improperly giving to another under the guise of holiness. See, again, this is the year of the Christian, family, just for the wrong reasons, right? And it's time we have a conversation. Okay, so we're gonna get into that. Again, the article you can find, just Broken Arrow Mosque being built. And during the town committee meetings, everybody going crazy about it. Because, these bomb-strapping Muslims, right? Or wait. Let's say it how, because there's another issue we're going to have to address right now, dealing with TikTok while we're talking about balance. So the law of gender deals with balance, family, right? Just like all of these laws do. Correspondence, action, all deal in balance, right? When you start talking about manifestation and stuff, that stuff go deeper than what we think it is. But while Tulsans in Oklahoma are having a problem with our Muslim brothers and sisters building a mosque and having land, because see, that land is only for God's people. Never mind the fact that God blessed Hagar and Ishmael after that whole weird throuple kind of thing went down, from which a baby was produced, okay? Specifically, God blessing them and letting them know that in these tribes, there's a great line of folks coming from the line of Ishmael. This is smack dab right there in the book, family. We're not telling you anything that's off. Like, this is what's there. People don't want to see it. And we get it. You got to create a certain narrative where they're wrong. There's a lot of stuff that I see on my social media where we have to constantly keep, again, we're talking about our half brothers. And don't you know in your own family how we do that with our half brothers and sisters family? You ain't real. You ain't real. Now they really real. I think if you pinch them on the arm, you find out how real they are, man. But unfortunately, right, because we buy into masses divisive schemes, unfortunately, we have to start, again, creating divisions. This is how I like to say it on the podcast. We create divisions where there are none. And you can clearly see them when you talk about gender. Family, because mass are trying to get up all the money, that's the reason he got a problem with half the women doing what they do today. Come on now, somebody. So now what it is, you got to put that woman through the gauntlet. You know about the gauntlet? right? Since El Presidente wants to make the Patriot games, we're going to pull one person from every district. Man, just put three fingers in the sky, family, one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, where's Katniss Everdeen? We can see Mr. Snow, bro. Or maybe he's Mr. Orange, yo. But this is just devil work. This is what massa do, family. Again, the word devil means adversarial. Okay. We ain't trying to put no money in the pockets of people every day, getting up from sun up to sundown, and sometimes beyond both of those time points, working to make massa rich at your expense. This ain't no victim talk. This is what it is. It is the same mess that goes on inside the home. Family, again, we have already said, whenever you see it inside the home, that's why even in having this conversation about the law of gender, some of this stuff is already established, okay? If we will not look at our spouses, our partners, right? Because this goes both homo and heterosexual. If we will not look at each other as partners in the game of life, you might as well not do it to begin with. Just be out there and have schmecks. That's all. Right? But if you're going to get involved in knowing a person and understanding them, this is why we can clearly talk to our intercultural or interracial, for those who are okay using the word race. Again, this is not a competition to the stuff. Okay, that's what race mean. I know we try to break it down and look like master scientists out here, but what they mean to tell you is a race. To all of the power, all of the influence, all of the resources. Again, the United States government about to wage war with Venezuela. I pray they don't, okay? But we just telling you what it is. Over the 300 some odd billion barrels of oil that's over there. And we make excuses, and we make excuses, and they look very similar to the same excuses that Christopher Columbus and the rest of the gang from Europe used when they took these lands. That's just what it is. So we can hide behind Christianity and do all of the silly holiness hopscotch dancing we do, family. At the end of the day, the reactions and the rhythm. Because see, again, this thing has a rhythm to it. We just said that the 11th law was rhythm. There's a rhythm to the mess we're doing. And it's sick. We can let you in on a little bit of this episode with the year of the Christian. At the end of the day, family, we're okay taking video, family, of homeless people living in their car. 2 YT women living in their car, which again, this brings us up. TikTok. And again, we can't hold y'all too much in contempt because it's masses social media platform. So already there's going to be certain language that is restricted. Family, as TikTok creators and users, you better stand up for your freedom of speech because the other side is definitely solidifying theirs. How can you have videos that are using the so-called N-word? Lives where people are using the so-called, wait. Where we're using the so-called N-word, which we know is the distinct. I know we like to play around with this back and forth. I know. Because anything that Master give you, trying to make that holy. I get it. But at the end of the day, y'all, that it deals with ignorance. Are we some ignorant people? Are we the do nothing, know nothing people out there? We're not, right? So why would we label? See, again, you got to come at some point in the mentality, and Kendrick talked about this at the end of the song I, right? Off of one of his albums a few years back. Okay. If you want to talk about NEGUS, which would be a black ruler, then we can say negus all day. But that ain't what we talking about now, is it? No, it's not. So now when I respond to a video online on TikTok of a black woman who is not in like the braids with the, come on now, somebody, right? It wasn't Pan-African garb she was wearing. She's wearing a pink outfit with some cute little like pink antennas, some alien stuff. You know what I'm saying? in reality, you could have a definite conversation where people are kind of the alien, not the like alien, like they call illegal aliens. It's people, right? So we're looking for some other form of life somewhere where in reality, you got a whole lot of it down here we need to be paying attention to. However, I digress. When she's sitting there with these little pink ears and this kind of onesie pajama thing, and a black, so-called black. See, again, that's a distinction given by Massa that was never there. You come, family, we all come from some land somewhere, whether it be North America, Central America, or South America, right? The Western Hemisphere. Over in the Eastern one. I know we like to play around with the prime meridian and what Massa's definite. This is some Europeans trying to tell us about how they splitting up the world. That's the same thing with the calendar. December is 10. That's what Decem means. Oh, how you telling me is 12 with a word that means 10? Oh no, KJ, you looking into it too much. Yeah, that's what we say about a lot of stuff. But you know what? The Campbell Soup owner lets you know maybe you're not actually looking into it too much. You should be looking into it because the mess they give you is nothing but trash. But you know what? The joke on us, family. We're the punchline. And when you get drowned out by Massa's vision, see, without a vision, the people perish. Do you know what else? When you accept the vision of your open enemy, we perish. They're not hiding off somewhere doing this stuff. It come right out in the open. Earlier this year, when Dude, just talking about different things that may be discussed during this year-end review, because normally we talk about people who have passed, again, to honor the dead. But at the end of the day, right, we fall for Massa schemes too much. That's all. Very simple. Again, this was a historic distinction. So TikTok is going to have a problem when I say house Negro. And I put it in a post. But you got open songs where two black folks is doing some Star Wars dance. Right? With a song by Little John and them. Dropping the N-word, we can hear it. Family, that ought to let you know everything you need to know about. There's some high levels of hypocrisy going on. Don't worry. Spotify is the platform to put your boy on. See, again, because where is the listen. Two of my black brothers and sisters, we have talked about this about WWE using literally it's just updated blackface. This time, no, they ain't got to put on no paint. They using you. I digress. You ain't gonna see Javon Evans you ain't gonna listen. They can bring him up to the main roster. They'll stay in ambiguity. They'll give him some base ass title to win. They're never going to get put on in the company. No different than what you just saw happen to Jey Uso. This isn't for plot. This isn't for plot advancement. Okay. We fall so much for Massa's trickery that they sit back and laugh. We have played this video from the KKK member that's still on YouTube. Again, while social media get all mad about what words you use, you got these fools openly tell you how they drop off the weapons of defense and liquor and whatever else in Chicago. We played it for you before on different lives. Y'all can go find it. And dudes sitting there talking about how they laugh on Monday morning at the fool-headed mess that we'll do to each other. And you telling me we've already gone over right here on TikTok. Brother put up a post talking about how states are suing private prisons. Again, this all ties back into the law agenda because we are not recognizing certain things falling prey to it. Private prisons being sued by states because they are not honoring their occupancy levels that they're supposed to. Occupancy levels? I thought this was supposed to be about justice. But you see, family, know this. I heard this and this is the truth, and that's why we're going to keep saying it, right? So part of it is an original thought from the standpoint that I hold to it, but it's not something I came up with. So I give credit to where it's due. Like I learned it from somewhere else. When you talk about your open enemy, there's three things you're going to find: corruption, captivity, disproportion. in the mindset of anybody who get down with massa. This is why we like to say massa and friends. We make it like it's a Saturday morning cartoon, right? A very sick, twisted one, but that's how we do it, right? Captivity. You're gonna stay right there at the bottom. Corruption. So when you're looking for justice, you ain't gonna find it with them because all they got is corruption for you. That's why people we're bugging out over the Epstein files. Why y'all bugging out over it? There's nothing to bug out over. This is what it is. When you deal with groups of people who deal in corruption. And the third one, disproportion. 1, 2 for me. This is a cartoon we used to, Looney Tunes and stuff used to make. This is a little joke back in the day. You sit there. They got like the mob kind of caricature, and they're making jokes with it. Bugs Bunny be there with some of these people, and yeah, Bugsy, yeah. You have all of that going on, right? And they'll be sitting there in the back rooms and all that somewhere, like 1, 2 for me, 1 for you, right? And you don't catch on to it. The worker need to stand up for themselves, family. This ain't you put it on the title of socialism, whatever you want to call it. The worker need to stand up for their rights, to be paid more. You making this money for massa, and we're gonna sit there and be like, well, if you gotta pay them more, then the prices gotta go up. Can't y'all hear you're saying massa's trickery right there? What they letting you know is you ain't getting another dime unless we raise these prices up. You ain't getting paid. You're telling me this thing ain't supposed to have some sort of relook to it? We ain't got time to be blaming our Muslim brothers and sisters for nothing no more. This is on us. Again, in every people group, do you have issues? You damn right you do. But at this point, it is time to stop the hoax. And for us to hold it's time to hold each other accountable. Let's continue on and reading in this. And then we're going to go about our day. The law of gender manifestation requires balance of energies. Creation requires both yin and yang. You can make fun of your Asian brothers and sisters, especially for Christian folk. You can do this all day long. Again, we've talked about balance. I've gotten into conversations with folks all day about this, all day long, to the point where I stopped talking about it because people don't. Many times, family, we're wasting our time talking with folks who just don't want to. They don't want to hear it. So what you do at that point, stop wasting your energy and then get yourself around people who want to hear a thing. This is not that I don't mind being challenged. You want to ask me questions about stuff. Again, we can do it in a respectful manner and it should be done that way. But at the end of the day, come on. I don't have time to debate with you for 4 hours over whether men and women should be able to listen. We ain't looking in massa system. You looking for somebody that got $100,000 in their bank account? How many Negroes you know like that? We out here in the struggle. Okay. Yeah. Now listen, you want to talk about people who are using, credit cards properly, using their finances properly. We can understand that. People who have a heart mindset open to wanting to use finances correctly, we get that all day. We can understand that all day. That don't mean you have to have $100K in the bank account for that. That does mean you should be able to have a car to get to where you got to get to. Okay. And again, you're going to meet people in different, I'm telling you, we miss out on our blessings. We miss out on our blessings, family, making these presuppositions. And I don't even know where we're getting them from. Again, if you're telling me you got out the Bible somewhere, we need to, again, study to show thyself approved. Rethink that, renew your mind. This is something for us all. Okay. Creation requires, get back to this book here, page 73. Both masculine and feminine energy is required in equilibrium to create anything. Pause. This is, we're not trying to be like a douchebag here or like, oh, use some LBGTQ. We're not doing none of that, family. Number one, let each other live and let live. I don't have time to go hunting down transgender and homosexual people, family. Do you understand? See, for me, it's on the other side that so much so that I have love for these folks. So there's a whole other. What we mean is like love and respect, man. We're humans who share life down here. I have no time to be. Family, the witch hunt was a joke set by massa to put innocent people, many of them who look like them, to the fiery furnace. But we already know, family, when you read, we've already gone over the book, The Great Evil, right? Christianity, the Bible, Christianity, and Native American unaliving. When you read that book, don't you know they they unalived Native Americans the same way as the witches. This is how they think of you. This is how they look at, if you were not part of the group, you out the group. And if you out the group, you off the planet. That's how this works. Which is why, to my black brothers and sisters, since we know mass is operation, and this will go for anybody, but specifically to black folks, y'all start walking in pairs. We talking about the way that story in the Bible talking about that fiery furnace that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego got thrown into. They turned that thing up 4 or 5 times as hot. Family, do y'all remember that in that story? If you don't, go back and look at it. Right, even if you don't believe in the Bible, go back, go read it. You get some information from some of these things. All of it ain't fluff. Family, at the end of the day, man, we're talking about there's levels to this. Y'all walk in pairs with each other. You know, these folks out here, we on the exercise game. We getting our bodies right? Getting our mind right. Because not only you exercise is not just for your body, it's also for your mind, your soul, right? Your spirit. Again, we are luminous beings. Yoda said that correctly. We know very little of the spirit world, so we discredit a lot. And we know very little, and we listen to masters, so we discredit a lot. At the end of the day, family, listen. We are bigger than just, the biceps or the triceps and the calves and you know what I'm saying? Again, both masculine and feminine energy is required in equilibrium to create anything. Sexual reproduction, of course, this is TikTok editing. Anyway. Sexual reproduction of species is a great example of this law in the physical world, and in the way it is more obvious to us, or in that way it is more obvious to us. It says in the way, but maybe he meant to say in this way. This concept also applies in the energy world. No creation, for example, converting an idea into reality, is possible without the balance of male and female energy. First, we must understand a very important concept. All, including us, have a combination of male and female energies. And we must balance them to create the things we want. Although we are born with male and female sexual, organs, it's hard talking the way of right and truth and then switch over to foolishness. But I digress. Then we get mad at our migrant brothers and sisters coming from other nations, speaking languages that's not equivocal, like English and all this other stuff. You get mad they can't speak. Damn it, this is some very disrespectful stuff. We live in America, fam. Or let me say it this way, the Americas. Don't you know English is not the primary language of the Americas? This is some mess they brought here. Folks were speaking in their own tones and stuff you don't know, because the conqueror came here, took it from us as descendants of these people, and then gave us this mess. Now you gonna turn around and get mad because you don't know Spanish? Maybe we learned, family, huh? Never mind. We already know. People make up the excuse the opposite way. We get it. First, we must understand a very important concept, and then we gonna go from there. Excuse me, I already read that. Although we are born with male or female sexual organs, we all have both energies within us that have nothing to do with schmex or schmexuality. So weird saying it that way. Again, when you look up the definition of the term, and we're just going to do this real quick in real time for folks. Ain't no thing but a G thing, baby. Right? That's how it's said. So it ain't nothing like just apologies on the dead air there. Although you did get to hear the rhythm of the clock right there, because life has a rhythm. Okay. In closing out here, the law of gender is a metaphysical, principle stating that everything in the universe contains both masculine. Now, watch some of the breakdown here that they say. This source is coming from a few different places, a whole lot of places actually. World Happiness Foundation. I mean, there's a bunch of sources. Okay, so again, if you want to go read them, when you type in these things, family, take the time to read some of the sources right on the side. They showing it to you. Sometimes it's government documents, sometimes all kind of stuff. Just read. We some people just don't like read no more, right? We some people who have been bred mentally to not read. Okay, this will help us out with contracts. This will help us out with a lot of stuff, learning civil law and stuff like that. Because again, they're out here to play games with you. The universe contains both masculine and feminine energies, which we just finished reading that. Now, watch what some of the breakdown they give. Active, logical, directive. Now, this is not to say that the feminine energy, right, or we're breaking down the females, do not think logically, because that's silly. Okay, we do not prescribe. You can't have societies of functioning things that were female led. Okay, matriarchal societies. You can look it up without having levels of logic there. Okay. That don't even make sense. So you can keep buying in the mass of telling you, no, well, the man is like this and the woman is like this. No, you both have in varying degrees certain energies. It's time we learn them and tap into them. That is what is called knowledge of self. And that thing is just as biblical as it is anything else. But don't nobody teach nobody like that in the church house. You teach this who has to be submissive and all this. No. We have to listen to each other. See, while we do that with the man, with the woman to the man like that, you skip over the verse that tells us to submit one unto the other. It is cool. Let me go on. So logical, directive, right? And feminine. Now, the feminine one, the descriptions they give, passive, intuitive, or nurturing. Now, when you see that word nurturing, let's not forget, because again, a lot of these things are coming out of the church. Okay. And we're taking the Bible incorrectly on some things because we're missing things. When you look into Ephesians, it's going to clearly tell you that fathers are supposed to. Never mind. Let's just do it in real time, family, huh? We talking the law agenda in the Bible. So let's just do it in real time, man. What is wrong with people, man? I just don't. Who is yeah. So it's not Sunday, but turn in your Bible with me, right? Those who've been raised in the church house, you already know about it, right? Ephesians chapter 6. What will it tell you? Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Okay. Honor thy father and thy mother, which is the first commandment with promise. Okay. That it may be well with you and that you may live long on this earth. Now, the part of the honoring there to help you live long is not just the honoring part, because that is real. There's a certain energy behind that, especially for the young people. This for people in general, though, because we are some dishonoring. We are some disrespectful people. Good Lord. Anyway, helping us to live long on the earth, honoring each other again is necessary. Honoring the father and the mother is necessary, right? But let's continue. This is the verse they go over. You fathers. Now, if you just finished talking about the mother, so we already know this is not just to the dads, although it's to the dads. Provoke not your children to wrath. When you look up wrath, that word deals with a self-loathing. You are causing family, we cause our youth to hate themselves. But don't worry. Shout out Squid Kid 1111 one time. If you don't believe me, we are missing one of the black community, a stalwart in a young person shining her light. We're missing her today because of the abuse of people not being able to honor each other, the masculine and the feminine that shows in all its forms. May she ever rest in peace away from this mess. Because you got black cosplayers out here, don't make them no less Negro. They will unalive them on trees, family, the same as any other Negro. Another word that TikTok had a problem with me using, family, that's historical designation. Stop playing games. These are words that have been given to describe the dark, brown, and tan skin tone peoples of this planet. Negro. In Spanish, as said, negro. So don't get mad at me because I put it in a repost. That's the word used. Just the word you gave us to use. Now you want to take it away? But bring them up in the nurture and admit. Nurture. A father, the male can nurture? We discredit too much, family, right? So let's go back to this, finish this, and go on about our day. There's no creation. As an example, converting an idea into reality is possible without the balance of male and female energy. We must understand you can't even bring the baby in the world without you both. I know scientifically they try and do all types of stuff. We talking about how you get down on the get down. Okay? You can't do it without you both. Now y'all gonna make a reality where you could do it without the other? Again, it is not good. I know that verse say, man, it is not good for humans to be alone. Nobody said you cannot live alone. Nobody said anything about having times and periods of solitude. Those things are necessary to refocus. We talk in the whole totality of the game. Some things are missing. We all do need people. We just don't need anybody. Right? That's the problem we keep falling for. We keep falling for anybody. I don't need anybody in my life. I need the people for me, who love me, understand me, know me, respect me. And the same thing goes for the rest of us. Right? People who are willing to challenge me. Truly, iron does sharpen iron. Get around some people who, now again, you speak the truth in love, family. That's a real thing. That does not mean we don't challenge each other. When did we crisscross those two? You gotta be like Ghostbusters and don't cross the streams, family. We crossing some ideas. We crossing some ideas here that should not be. All understand this, and we'll end here. Understand a very important concept. All, including us, have a combination of male and female energies that we must balance, and we must balance them to create the things we want. Okay? In terms of energy, male energy is creative, practical, far-sighted, but unbalanced. It can take the form of control, anger, and conflict. Okay? We're just putting some stuff on the board here. There's again, this is just a base thing. Expand how you look at it. Just don't take these words. Oh, yeah, that's just we do the same thing with horoscopes. Again, it's pointing you into the direction of yourself, but it is not the total of yourself. Again, pointing you in the direction of yourself, but not the total of you. Unbalanced, it's fragile, and its personal strength is wait, go back up here. On the other hand, when female energy is balanced with male energy, right, it is intelligent, nurturing, and intuitive, because that's the female energy. Intelligent, nurturing, and intuitive. Now, inside, again, you could not be told something in the Bible if it's not there. We have said this before. If God is pulling female from male, that means female is in male. I'm sorry. I know that's going to bug y'all out. That's cool. We're just dropping it there. You go from there. Okay. The writer goes on to say, page 74, unbalanced, it is fragile, and its personal strength is weakened. The trick is to balance these energies, because only when both are used correctly can we manifest our desires in the material world. That's where we're gonna stop, right? Family, it's about tag teaming. Stop looking at your wife as just some schmexual mule out there to do at the beck and call, right? And the other way around is just some, it's a sugar daddy, right? We can't be looking at the men like they're just sugar daddies. That ain't gonna work, because you could just go find a sugar daddy somewhere, right? We don't even have to do the marriage thing. We are more than that. We have to look deep into each other's heart, mind, and psyche if we want to grow together. If not, that thing going to look superficial as can be and unproductive. That's just how it works. You can do that in the romantic sense, just the same as you can living with each other. We got to take off, just like we finished talking about Squid Kid, right? We got to take off the blinders Massa gave us about what we can and can't do and start looking to that which is what the Master gave us of what we can do, in which all things are possible to those that believe. That's where we're going to stop, family, today. Thank you for walking this road with me. I love y'all, right? I love y'all. God bless y'all, right? We're going to talk again soon, okay? This is the wrap up on the 12 universal laws ending with the law of gender. Again, we're going to do a little wrap up there on Spotify. Again, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple, and Pandora at A Different View. On YouTube, it's at A Different View 80. That's the @ symbol, A Different View 80. And of course, here on TikTok at KJ's Clock. You like this thing, share this thing. You can find all the different reposts that I do here on this page. We have a Facebook page for those who want to see, because sometimes I'll repost them there. It's called A Different View Looking Forward, if you ever want to look for it, right? And again, A Different View Looking Forward. And we look forward to talking to y'all soon, right? Thank you very much, family, for walking this road with me. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.